Caution, spoilers ahead. Big excitement while celebrating the small screen. Wednesday's new episode of The Masked Singer was TV night, and everything, from the set decoration to the wardrobes to the editing and even song choices, was a celebration of all things TV. Thicke opened the show with a performance of the theme song for Growing Pains, which, obviously, served as a tribute to his late father, Thicke, who famously starred in the iconic sitcom. It was a sweet moment made even sweeter by having Robin's famous mom, Gloria Loring, in the audience. Meanwhile, fellow panelists Jenny McCarthy, Ken Jeong and Nicole Scherzinger also embraced the theme with some TV-inspired costumes of their own, including Ken dressed up in a doctor's coat and McCarthy decked out like Wonder Woman. The first performance of the night came courtesy of the Mummies, a trio of singers who were decked out like haunted Egyptian mummies, complete with glowing red eyes and golden, fabulous capes. The trio hit the stage to deliver a rendition of The Monkees, the theme song from the Monkees TV show from the mid-1960s. After the Mummies delivered their special clue, presented by TV royalty and former Masked Singer contestant Dory Spelling, it was time for the fortune teller to make his debut. First appearing in a mystical glass case, the fortune teller surprised everyone with his vocal quality, his performance chops and in some fun moves. Belting out "Movin' On Up" from the Jeffersons, he owned the stage and got the entire audience cheering for him. Fuller House star Jodie Sweetin lent her charm and smile to bring out the fortune teller's special clue, before the harp returned for her third performance of the season. She was once again defending her crown, and did so with a fun, lovely performance of "Thank You for Being a Friend" from the Golden Girls. "I love that song for you. That was such a beautiful rendition. Your voice is like a hug," Nicole marveled. "It's so comforting and Tyrese such security and safety in your voice." After all three songs were done and sung, it was time for the audience to vote and decide who should get sent packing. Despite a fun performance, the first act to get booted were the Mummies. So what TV icons were under the golden wrapping? The Brady Bunch brothers, Mike Luginland, Barry Williams and Christopher Knight. Williams and Luginland spoke to ET's Nichelle Turner on Thursday, and reflected on their brief but memorable time on the show. "I felt like we had done the job and it seemed to have gone well," Knight said, humbly. "Better than the number of rehearsals that we had, at least that I had." For Luginland, when they signed up to be on the show, they had every intention and hope of winning, until the harp took the stage with her diva talents, and then they had an idea about what might come to pass. "Going in, I thought to myself," I said, "okay, listen guys, I'm going in fully intending on winning this thing. And the first time I heard harp sing, I said, okay, new plan." While they might not have moved on to sing another day, the Mummies made an impression, not least of all with their memorable and extravagant costumes. "They're not the most comfortable costumes, but they are the best looking," Williams said with a laugh. "There are all kinds of restrictions, with being able to see, trying to find where the mouth is, places for the microphone. It's restrictive, because they're like painted on too. It looked like three people about 25 to 30 minutes to help me get into it," Williams added. Fortunately the sandals were comfortable. After the Mummies unmasked, the harp and the fortune teller then faced off in a vocal showdown, each delivering a performance of "Everywhere You Look," the theme song for Full House. The fortune teller delivered a fun take on the famed tune, but the harp transformed it into a Broadway-worthy diva-level performance that made Ken cry. "I tell you, watching you sing that, harp, and seeing Jodie, somewhere up above, our friend, Bob Saget, is smiling," Ken said, choking back tears. "This is what TV is all about. It unites." Unsurprisingly the harp won yet again, and with this third win, the harp secured her place in the semi-finals and doesn't have to keep defending her title each week. It also opens the door for someone else to shine, without having to face off, yet, against such a powerhouse. So, it was finally time for the fortune teller to take off his mask. After all the guesses were made, he revealed himself to be none other than Shark Tank star and business magnate, Daymond John. John spoke with ET on Wednesday, and reflected on his time on The Masked Singer, explaining, "It was about stepping outside of my comfort zone. But it still fits within my world. Honestly, if I was not masked and I was singing, I may have declined. But it was all in the way it was positioned, because you're behind the mask. While being masked gave him the strength he needed to be vulnerable on stage, John said he wanted to make sure to embrace the experience, because he would have regretted it if he hadn't. "I never want to sit back and go, I had the opportunity to do this, and didn't. So, I would have regretted it for a long period of time if I didn't do it," he shared. Next week, fans will get the chance to see a whole new slate of singers take the stage, but only one will move on and remain secret. The Masked Singer returns next Wednesday at 8 p.m. ET/PT on Fox. Nick Cannon on welcoming baby number 8 and how his Masked Singer family reacted. Exclusive: this video is unavailable because we were unable to load a message from our sponsors. If you are using ad blocking software, please disable it and reload the page.